Yeah, man, too poor. I was wanting to connect on Periscope right now.
Yeah, Periscope.
I want to get you guys on Periscope. It's all right. We'll try Instagram.
All right.
Different social media stuff. All right.
See that? I don't have Periscope in mine.
You don't have Periscope?
I won't let me edit. What's phone?
We are Richmond. We are in Richmond right now at Wizard World. And I got some awesome fans. Here's your shot. And go. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that, guys. I'm just kind of doing a social media fiend right here. Kind of like, all right. First of all, guys, are you guys having fun? Yeah! All right. You on a Periscope? How'd you get that? How'd you get service? Hold on, I'm gonna try this. This is Richard. He runs one of the Pearland schools, one of my Rising Sun karate schools at Pearland. So he's came down here to help out a little bit. We've been talking martial arts and getting him ready for his next belt there. So been going through our curriculum on the airplane, and it's a lot of curriculum in my style. Reading it will take like 2.5 to 3 hours. So as we were there on the airplane, I realized, man, I wrote this book. Oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. But it was pretty fun. Thank you guys, cosplayers. Why don't you all stand up here, whoever's cosplaying today. Let's give them a big hand. Yeah, here we go, right there, man. I'm live. Here we are. We're back. I was just telling everyone. Set this up here. I was just telling everyone to give a big hand for all the cosplayers because you guys really make it exciting. There. You guys are still there. All right, good. All right, very good. Sorry, guys. So anyway, guys, you know, make it exciting for the cons and stuff like that. So I want to thank you guys for dressing up and making kids happy and making people happy and all keeping the cons alive. Very excited about being in Richmond again. First time I was here, not the first time, but my fight manager is here. His name is Brian from Sucker Punch Entertainment. Represents like, 30 UFC fighters. He is the man. He represented me. I fought here, I forgot how long ago, but I was here, one of my fights. And so he's back. He represents, like I said, a lot of UFC fighters. So probably going to be talking to Joe Silva a little bit later, who's the matchmaker. So I get a chance to meet him a little bit and chat, some stuff. But anyway, questions. If you guys have any questions, if you guys can just line up here on the mic there. Man, is it still on? Is anybody following me on Periscope right now? Because I think it like stopped. No one on here? Verizon. Oh yeah, okay. Gotcha. Are you still there with me, fans? Yes, perfect. Awesome. There we go. I'll put it on some of you guys' questions. And then Richard, you're going to be Periscoping afterwards in a second. Cool. All right. Mr. Batman, how are you doing today?
So I was kind of curious. Obviously, you've worked on a lot of the different Power Ranger series.
Yeah.
So which was your favorite to actually work on while you were filming it?
Well, I have two. I just think because the Green Ranger coming into the series, seeing all like the sets and the lights and all that stuff was awesome, and then Dino Thunder being Dr. Oliver. Because going back to the show, everyone was like, oh man, get to work with Jason Frank and Tommy, and so I had that name in the Power Ranger world, where the guys were like, we were a huge fan of yours, and now we get to fight side by side with you, which is pretty cool. So that was exciting for me to do that. And then, of course, when I was the White Ranger, man, the White Light was the highest, White Light was the highest rating episode at that time. Biggest children's show in history. I still think we're pretty much up there. So it was definitely fun, Mighty Morphing, and becoming the White Ranger and becoming Dr. Oliver.
Hi, my name's Mike.
What's up, buddy?
I just want to say, when I was a kid, Green Ranger was my absolute favorite Ranger on the show. To the point where I went to school and I tried to change my name to Tommy. But I was wondering, because you played a couple different Rangers, obviously. Did you try to put a different spin on any of the characters when you were each different color?
Not really. I mean, I kind of created Tommy, was just kind of like my version. I had long hair when I auditioned, and then the manager and agent made me cut my hair to say that I wasn't like, role model-ish for kids, so I needed to look like the average everyday kid, which I disagreed to that. Then cut my hair, then got the role, and I was pretty much like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and grew my hair out, whatever, wear earrings. I just think all that stuff doesn't really judge your characteristics. I get how I think your heart is and your actions will come out more than what you look like. You know what I mean? And so I just became Tommy, like the more of a G-rated, but it was just me, really. I mean, love martial arts, love doing what I was doing, and all that stuff too. So it was fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Richard, you're on Periscope from that side. Richard's at inked_and_cage. So if you want to grab it from that perspective too, awesome. All right, there we go. Sorry, it's enough. The social media stuff drives Tammy crazy. She's like, Periscope again? I'm like, yeah. She's like, hi, and then Periscope. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
See, we all have phones, right? Everyone's phone on phone. That's just the way it is now.
My question is, you did just touch on this a little bit, but like, what was it like to continue returning to Power Rangers? Like, one of my favorite episodes is the Red Ranger episode where all the Red Rangers come together. Do you think they're kind of like, like the newbies, and you're like the legendary one? Or
Yeah.
like, and like you said, Dino Thunder, you're a legend, so like.
Well, that was the Forever Red episode. We met before.
Yeah.
Was it here?
Yeah.
I remember, dude. What's up?
So.
But it just seems like yesterday. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So when I went to that one, the only thing that was different is you have to understand, you put a room full of leaders that I had to lead. So, I don't want to hurt no one's feelings, or I don't know how, I didn't know anyone really that much. And so for me, like, I never really, when I was a leader, it wasn't like, I feel like I'm a leader in life. I'm a martial artist, 7th degree black belt, and I lead because I want to lead, not because I have an ego. Because being a leader doesn't mean, I won't have an ego to lead, it just means that you're a leader in life. So going back and leading everybody was like, oh, I don't even know these people, I'm telling them what to do, And there was a scene, Fawn, if you're watching, where I said Sea of Tranquility in the Forever Red, and I kept saying Sea of Tranquility. And so like every time I would say it, they would laugh, like the corner tables would laugh, and I was like, hey look, I don't know half these people, and I'm gonna knock them out if they laugh one more time. But I was being cool. Alright, Sea of Tranquility. I'm thinking, I hope they didn't hear that. And they're like, so Jason, and finally years later, say, hey man, what were y'all laughing at? He's like, dude, we were saying, I thought I saw a putty cat. I see it Tranquility, and I was like, now I know why you all laughing, So going back to there, it was great. It was a good episode. The only problem with that is that I miss Steve Cardenas in that. I mean, Steve, now after all these years, he wasn't in it, but he was a Red, so I kind of felt a little bad about that. Like, I think they should have put him in there, regardless if they shared the character or not. It should have just been more of a respectful thing, and I didn't realize that until, years out. So, yeah, you're right. I know it's sad to be like, but that time, so I wish he was in that, so we could complete. There was a couple other people that did not want to do it, I guess for whatever reasons, money issues or whatever, but then they ended up begging them to do it, so they shot him in a couple scenes, It's hard getting everyone together. I'm fortunate and blessed with who I am and what I do, and I wanted to Periscope earlier today to tell you guys one thing that I think is important. I know this is a popular subject and I talk a lot, but it's the truth. People ask how to be successful. What do you do? How this and how do you do that? And I say you start with your passion. You start with what you love to do. Okay? If you don't know what it is, you need to search it out. If that means that you're a good leader, you're a good speaker, you're good at costumes, you're good at cosplay, you're smart at computers, whatever it is, we all have a talent. But you have to recognize your talent first. And then when you recognize your talent, be passionate about it and don't worry about the money. Because if you're not passionate, you're trying to do to make money, you'll fail. But if you're passionate about it, God and everything else will just bless you with everything that you need and more, because you're making other people happy. So if you're sitting there now thinking, duty call. If you're sitting there now thinking, like, what is my talent and what is it, and you just got to look around yourself and see what other people say about you. because they might be like, oh, you're great this, you're a great artist, and you don't see it. Thanks. No, I can do better. I'm a lot better. You know, my talent for me is like public speaking. My talent is martial arts. I love acting. But my call for me is to be here to reach people, to give happiness to other people. And like I tell a few promoters, the world wants a superhero. You know what I mean? And you got to like give them what they want. And so we're accountability partners. I'm not always been like, you know, we're accountability partners. We lean on each other. You're good, I'm good, and we lean on each other. Without that one side, we fall. So, you know what I mean? My fans do a lot to keep me accountable and to be the hero that I need to be. You know?
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I have a two-part question.
Yes.
Wondering who was the biggest prankster on the show, and what was the craziest prank you saw on set?
I always pranked a lot of people. I'm not too sure of the craziest one, but we used to prank a lot of people. I don't know. I used to play around with Dave Yost and just prank them all the time, you know. I'm not too sure about that one. I know I get asked a lot, and I think I've been asked so much it's just not in my head right now. I think, you know. But we played around a lot. We should have been working.
Hey, how's it going? I'm a huge fan of the Green Ranger, White Ranger, and everything that you do. I've watched Power Rangers from when it started to all the way now. I can tell you, I can name all the shows. Huge fan. My question is, what was it like always coming back for a different Ranger? What was that feeling being the green, the white, the red, and then being the Black Ranger? And then also, why did they reach out so much for you specifically? What made you so special?
I think the passion about it. Like I was telling you, I was only hired for 10 episodes. And I didn't, like, my whole thing was, I'm not going to come into this show and I want to be the leader. I came into the show and that position was open to be a leader. And so it kind of like made space. And it wasn't my intentions to do that. I mean, I kind of wanted to go out, blow the candle, be done, be like, cool. That was like a powerful thing, coming in, but then all the kids were sad when they're losing the powers. So I came back, I filmed Cybertron, and then came back to the White Ranger, and they were like, look, man, like, kids around the world really love you, they want, you know, to be part of the show. And I think I have like, and Tammy knows, that kids are like my biggest thing. Like, they'll just stare at me, and you know, and that's always been that. I love working with kids, love doing martial arts and all that stuff. So now I'm in front of a TV that has that caring and that leadership and being an instructor and teaching people karate, that it was worldwide, millions of people around the world. So I was able to reach through the television and connect with the kids from around the world, especially with my character. That was a loner character, didn't really have friends, and we're kind of all like that, you know? I mean, honestly, I see your X-Men shirt, and I used to wear Wolverine and X-Men shirts, and I didn't really have that much friends in school. And you know, we got to a point where you start being a little older, and people were starting being mean to you because you're like a superhero or a comic book collector at that time. But little did they know, when I bought my first karate school, the comic books, I sold my whole comic book collection for about $11,000 or $12,000 when I was 18, and I bought my first karate school. So comics really helped me in life to get where I wanted to be. And I collected comic books for my passion, but I was smart because I wanted the big books. I wanted like Incredible, you know, I wanted Wolverine's first appearance. Like, I wouldn't even read it. I would like read my friends and get his all messed up, keep mine like, my friend Lou, read this, you know, and it'd be rolled up, you know, when he's going, you know, he's reading it, and I was out, you know, I kept mine fresh. So the comics really gave me my life to, you know, and it's full circle. But, you know, the point is, it was the passion of what I did, and you can't worry about, I know it sounds weird, but and people might disagree, you can't worry about tomorrow if you don't put your passion in for today. Because if you don't put your passion in for today, you won't have it tomorrow. Meaning your actions, what you do now, your actions for tomorrow will pay the price. So I lived day by day by day, 20 years later, embraced who I was, love who I am, I'm the Green Ranger, I don't care if people are going to stereotype me. Like, you know, I live up and I own to being the Shatner of Rangers. I'm happy about it. I'm really happy about it, and I'm blessed. But with that said, is that you have to invest into emotional bank accounts. not a financial bank account, an emotional bank account is what goes further than anything. Who cares about money and everything else? Your emotional bank account. So when you draw a favor, you have something to withdraw. So I invest in personal, investments, emotional bank account. So when my fans help me, that's the reason why. Hey, watch my show, Mighty Morphing Power. Love to, man. You met your kid, saw you in the elevator, this, that. So I do it not expecting anything, like with Dad and the Son. I met those dudes and he wanted to do the White Ranger versus Scorpion beatdown and asked if I would do it. I was like, yeah. I didn't know anything about the guy. I just knew I wanted to protect the White Ranger character, and he came to me like, real cool, and I did it. I didn't do it because I'm gonna get all these hits and millions of people. I did it because I wanted to do it. So when you do something for someone, you have to do it because you want to. I hate the friends that keep track of everything. Hey man, remember last year when, I watched your kids and I just, come on, I don't remember. Like, I don't keep track of those favors and you owe me this and you owe me that. You shouldn't have to feel like you owe anyone. You do what you do. If they don't give, trust me, God will give you and you'll be blessed. And I'm like blessed. If people look and think I'm not blessed, not with the financial at all, I'm more blessed with you all. Because we're all stuck on an island. Money is just paper. But relationships go a long way. And your word is gold. So if I tell my fans I'm going to be here, like I'm not going to just cancel for any reason. I've been through, I hammer it out because I don't want to ruin the hopes of, how do you explain I'm not going to be here to a kid? You might, but your kid, why isn't he there? Well, he's got professional obligation to that. Well, I try to do the best I can, because my word is gold and you can't buy trust, put it that way. You can't buy trust.